So recently I've noticed a rumor going around that apparently if you build A as a Hyperbloom DPS, it's stronger than a Hypercarry team. Sorry, it's just, that is the most ridiculous statement I've heard since learning that only 1.4% of my viewers are subscribed. Yeah, I sounded into one of those. Sorry. Also, Discord server. All jokes aside, even when polling the Raiden main subreddit, a surprising amount of people were saying that Hyperbloom is not only their favorite team, but also stronger than Hypercarry. This statement is just straight up false, and I'm going to prove it to you. This is my A, and she is by far my strongest character. I have put well over 1,000 domain runs into her build, but right now, we're throwing all that hard work out the window because to maximize her Hyperbloom damage, we need to give her as much elemental mastery as possible, as apart from her level, it is the only stat that matters. It should also be mentioned that I can still have a lot more elemental mastery, but as much as I make dumb decisions for content on this channel, leveling Dragonsbane is too far, man. We're also going to throw in my level 80 Kuki, she is widely considered to be the best Hyperbloom driver. Now for the team. It should be noted that Cole would bring more value thanks to Dendro Resonance and her Constellation 4, but I don't have a C4, so yeah. Anyways, let's go. Loading up this and... So anyway, here's a giant clockwork gargoyle.
Gather!
Here comes the about to get dicey. Gotcha. Illusion shattered. Point. Scatter. Busted. There is no escape.
So, let's get the obvious out of the way. Ace Hyperblooms were doing considerably more damage than Kuki, and to understand why, I need to express the sheer importance of character level. According to the wiki, leveling a character to 90 increases Hyperbloom's base damage by just over 1,108 damage. And although 1.1k is not much in the grand scheme of things, the difference becomes a little more clear once we have a damage bonus from Elemental Mastery. Warning, the following scenes contain math. Some words may be disturbing to some viewers. Thanks to Elegy and Dendro Traveler's Ascension 4 passive, we are gaining an extra 160 Elemental Mastery. This puts A at 1078, and altogether this is boosting Hyperbloom's damage by over 560%. And so by doing the math, we find that by not leveling a character from 80 to 90, we are losing over 6,160 damage. And it gets worse the further down we go. This is my good friend and fellow YouTuber Valeria Hawthorn, links in the description. Her Kuki is only level 70.
Yes, I know it's 71, but 70 is easier to do math with.
But she can have considerably more elemental mastery than me, all thanks to a small variable. Quick warning, if you're wondering why Val's footage is so blurry, blame YouTube. In this team, all the buffs combined give Val's Kuki 1,202 elemental mastery, whereas the maximum mine can have is 1,066. That's a 136 elemental mastery difference. And yet, when we look at the damage, her Kuki's Hyperblooms are only doing 16,183 damage. Meanwhile, my Kuki is doing 25,455 damage. Or 24,647. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here. For some reason, the first two Hyperblooms hit for 25,000, but then all the rest hit for 24? Yeah, why? But anyways, the important thing to note is that mine still did more damage. This is in no way Valeria's fault, but I still decided to mention it as 1, we are still rivals, and 2, this is more proof that level matters immensely. Speaking of proof, wasn't this whole video supposed to be about a C0 Hypercarry team? Why yes. Yes it was.
Shine down. Frogs high. The birds going in. Flash. No turning back. Now you shall perish.
So yeah, this isn't fair at all. My Hypercarry team has had tons of investment and is my strongest team. So I think it's reasonable that we nerf it a little. There we go.
Illusion
One with wind and cloud.
Everybody stand torn to oblivion. There is no escape. Teamwork is tricky! Now you shall perish!
Yeah, so even without an entire teammate, my Hypercarry team was still miles faster. But then, it was always going to be faster. Hypercarry is a very expensive team to run. It requires a lot of investment. But that's because when you do put in the time and the resin, you create something that can rival whale accounts. In my opinion, Hyperbloom was made to be an equalizer, something to help bridge the gap between new players and people who have been playing this game for years. Building a character with only elemental mastery is considerably easier than getting 40 crit value on all your artifacts. Trust me, I know. I mean, a year ago I was barely able to do 100,000 damage. But now A's initial slash is doing the equivalent of over 7 Hyperblooms. So at the end, what do I think of Hyperbloom? What should you keep in mind? Should you use A as a Hyperbloom driver? Well, to put it simply, I was pleasantly surprised at how good Hyperbloom is. I definitely think it's a worthwhile investment early game. As for if you should use A as your main Hyperbloom driver, I'm gonna have to say no. Kuki is just better in pretty much every way. Her elemental skill has a much wider range, allowing you to hit any stray Dendro cores your opponent might have moved away from. Not to mention, she heals. And if you understandably don't have Kuki, I would personally say that Lisa is the second best option. Everyone has a Lisa. Lisa ascends with elemental mastery. And if you really need healing, she can use Prototype Amber. But like I always say, this game is easy. Play whoever you want, however you want. Overall, I rate Hyperbloom 3 packs of Bourbon creams out of half a gargoyle. And if you made it this far, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down your thoughts on Hyperbloom, as I'm interested to see what you all think. But I hope you have a wonderful day. My name is Crazy, and I'll see you next time. See ya.